Hello, and welcome to Mindset for Meaning. Um, I'm, I'm anticipating this video might be a little shorter than my usual, purely because I'm not really going to review anything this time in terms of how it's been going this week, because my last video was 3 days ago, and so what I want to do is keep some momentum going in my own mind in terms of where those threads were leading on that kind of on the particular thought trail that was kind of unfolding through the conversation last time. And so what I really want to explore today is something I mentioned in the last video. I was talking a little bit about how meaning is a feeling, and it comes from this sense of doing something that seems to be nested inside something bigger, a destination, and therefore if you know where you're going and how what you're doing relates to where you're going, that then can start to generate this sense of meaning in terms of where you're going, what you're trying to achieve, how you want to be, how you want to feel, and that will then determine the actions that you take in the short term to take you in those steps. And so that's the thought from the last video, really. And I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this recently. I'm trying to redraft my CV, and so I'm trying to come up with a different way of doing it, really. And what I want to do is center it around not a bio as such, but more a here's who I am, like what my essence is, what really drives me, and that's effectively how I want to feel. Because ultimately, when it doesn't matter what you say, try this next time. Whenever you have a thought of, I found it useful. Whenever I have a thought of I want this, or I want to do that. Why? And so, for example, if I want to go and sit in the steam room, why? Well, there's a whole multitude of reasons. In terms of, I know it's good for muscle recovery after exercise. I know it's good for heat shock proteins, an activation of those. And I know it's good for immune system. I know it's good for releasing certain things within the nervous system which help thinking and cognition. But also, I just want to feel relaxed, and it relaxes me. And I also want to feel like I have time to switch off. I want to feel peaceful. And I know that for me, that helps. And so it's not why am I doing this, it's so I know how I want to feel. I know I want to feel peaceful. I know I want to feel relaxed. I want to feel a certain sense of control over my health. And so in order for me to do that, I know the steam room works for me. But on a bigger scale, it's more, how do I want to feel in general? What's at the core of how I want to feel? And this will be different for everyone. And for me, I've been giving this quite a lot of thought, and I know, I've always kind of known, but expressing it in terms of how I want to feel is an interesting thought process. I want to feel like I can be of service. I like helping people. I like helping in a way that makes something better in their life. In as much that I like when I can maybe help someone get over a small obstacle. Maybe they can't get past thinking about something, or maybe they can't quite see a clear way of, they can't quite come to terms with a clear way of thinking about something, or they just don't know how to solve a problem, and I can, that kind of, because I love solving problems, and this all comes from this, in terms of to make their day a little bit better, and then empower them to then just, they don't need to talk to me after this. Okay, it's nice to have someone to listen to you, but in terms of, for me, it's nice to almost help someone get to a place, get past a certain obstacle, whatever that might be, to a place where the next time they now have a new skill set, a new tool, a new thing in the arsenal to employ the next time something like that might come along. And maybe they still can't do it themselves, but they can certainly do more of it themselves, or they can have more control over it themselves. Again, this gradual, constant stepping forward, moving towards a destination. It doesn't mean that we're going to go from never being able to do something to completely being able to do it within one step, but what it does mean is we're moving from this point, a lower point, to a higher point. We're trying to constantly improve, constantly strive forward. And so I know that that's what I like to do. And ultimately it comes from this sense that I need to feel that I can make a difference. I need to feel that I can bring something valuable to something bigger than myself. I need to feel like I can do these things for myself too. I need to feel like I can grow. I need to feel like I can solve my own problems. I need to feel this sense of empowerment and responsibility for my own daily existence. I need to be able to feel like I can take a good control of that, take it by the, take it by the reins, or like my star sign, take the bull by the horns, and really say, well, I can control this, and I'm going to go after this. And it really does come from this sense of wanting to feel like I can contribute something valuable, feeling like I can nurture in some way, support, nurture, empower. These are just words that effectively are trying to get to the root of how I want to feel. And like I said before, ultimately, whenever you think about, well, what do you want to do? It's not really the thing that you're chasing. It's the feeling that you'll get from that thing that you're chasing is what you're actually after. And that can then open up a whole world of possibilities, because it's not, I want this, and if I don't get this, it's a failure. It's like, well, I want to feel like this. I know this will help. I'm going to try this. And then if it doesn't work, it's more like, okay, well, I still want to feel like this. This didn't work, but I can also try and feel like this way. So maybe I don't get a chance to go to a steam room, but maybe there's some fields nearby. I just go for a walk in the fields. Same feeling, different activity. Or I just put my feet in the grass. Or maybe there's no fields, I'm in a hotel, they don't have a steam room, I'm traveling for work, and I still want to feel peaceful, I want to feel relaxed and calm, so I would listen to maybe a meditation. Maybe I could do some breath work. Maybe I could go to the gym and work out. These things, because it's about how do I really want to feel? And then that will help me kind of determine, well, what's going to take me in that direction, and how don't I want to feel? What are the feelings that I don't like experiencing? For me, I don't like feeling as though I have no value. I have nothing to give, nothing to contribute, or I'm not, my qualities or skills aren't recognized or aren't appreciated. No, not appreciate. No, appreciated. No, appreciation is important to me, but more important, it's feeling like I have something to contribute, and that I am part of something. And so, yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk about today. I want to talk about how I want to feel or how I don't want to feel. For example, I often get frustrated. I've mentioned this in an earlier video. I get frustrated with myself when I make silly mistakes. And so it's like, well, I don't want to feel like that. So what can I do? That's the stick. I don't want to feel like that. Okay, if I don't want to feel like that, what can I do to avoid that stick? Like what can I do to minimize me feeling like that? And that's where my mindfulness comes in. That's where things like meditation come in. That's where learning to slow down, catch myself mid self-castigation. And even if I do castigate myself, it's catching myself early enough to then laugh at myself. And so it's a very powerful way to consider how you want to be. It's more about thinking how I want to feel. And so yeah, for me, it's about I want to feel like I can nurture. I want to feel like I can support. I want to feel like I can be of service and bring something valuable. I want to feel like I can be challenged and grow. I really need to be challenged. I feel like I really need to either be set a task to find what there's a problem here, but we can't quite figure out what it is, to help us find the problem, or this is the problem, find the solution, or both. Like, we can't find the problem, we know there's a problem, can you find it, and can you help us fix it? Those things are great. You know, those things really drive me forward. This need to be challenged, to be pushed, to really switch on my creative right side of my brain, to challenge the things that I don't really know, to fire up the right side of my brain, which deals with the world as it's presented to us without us really knowing what's specifically happening, rather than just living in this left brain. I know the rules, I know what applies, I know how it goes, I know how to do this. I don't need to think about alternatives. It's just the same thing each day, every day. And as much as life has an element of routine, and all jobs have an element of routine, for sure, but if I'm not challenged somehow, or I don't have the freedom to challenge myself and push myself and explore and try to find a way to push forward and have more of a contribution, that's when I don't get what I want. I don't experience the feelings I want to feel, and I start to almost experience the opposite. I feel stagnant. I feel lethargic. I feel as though, I'm not doing anything valuable for either myself and my circles of influence, my circles of influence, family, friends, colleagues, people I come into contact with. And so I suppose what I'm really trying to say is the challenge for myself, and if you want to think about this too, is start thinking about how do you really want to feel? And those, for me, how do I know that that's how I really, that's what I'm really after? Well, because I know when I reflect and I think back to what has really generated that in the past, time flies. When I'm helping someone or when I'm deep in solving a problem, time disappears, and I don't feel like I've been exerting. I just feel like, this sense of time disappears. Or when I've been really helping someone with something, time disappears. Or when I've been creating joy for other people, like when I was younger and I used to DJ with vinyls in small clubs, like nothing major. I was no super club DJ or anything. But I remember I would DJ and you would get this really good reaction and people would be having a great time, and that just the time would disappear because you're just in it with people and making their day a bit better. And that's, and so when I was practicing, time would disappear. And it's because I was enjoying it, because I knew that I was practicing to get better at ultimately then being able to serve the people that I was going to go and play music for. And so that's why I talk about wanting to be of service, wanting to feel like, and it's ultimately why I'm doing these videos. They help me, but it's also about, well, here's my thoughts, the things I come across, all of the podcasts I listen to, the videos I watch, the books I read, and here's how I think they might maybe just create a spark of thought for others as well, for whoever may watch these videos, and whenever you're watching these videos, because once they're on the internet, they're always on the internet, right? So it's about taking something and then making something meaningful out of it, and then either embodying that knowledge or creating something that can be used by others. And I know that when I have the opportunity to do that in work, for example, that's when I thrive. And so I guess that's it for today. It's not a long one today. It's not really a long thought process. It's just more about setting an intention this week. And so my intention is to continually try to clarify how I want to feel. I think I'm pretty content with, at the moment where it's at, I'm going to let these thoughts circulate. I'll think about it before I go to sleep at night, and then when I've had a sleep and I wake up the next day, maybe my subconscious or unconscious, depending on which author you read, but maybe my unconscious mind will come up with something and help me get some clarity. Maybe I'll get some clarity in the steam room or in the cold shower or something, but I'm setting the intention of really trying to understand how is it that I really want to feel on a day-to-day basis. Because once I get a grip of that, once I get a grip of how I want to feel on a day-to-day basis, I can then say, okay, how can I take that and how can I then look at that feeling from a work perspective? Okay, well, that's how I want to feel. What does that mean I need to start thinking about for work? And then how can I then draw out of, okay, how do I need to approach my activities for that? Or how do I want to feel? And how does that affect my health? The way I approach my health? How does that feel? How does that feeling affect the way I interact with my friends or my family? And so it's really important to kind of get a grip of this. Well, here's the core. It's is it paradoxical? I don't know. It's the core and also where I'm going. It's trying to keep those two ideas resonant with each other. Here's what's inside. Here's how I want to feel. When I feel like this, I know I'm on a good path. I'm in a good place. I'm in a good state. And so that's what I'm trying to go. That's what I'm aiming for as well. So I've got my target and I'm trying to keep those two resonant with each other. And that's when you start to get this sense of meaning, because they're aligned. And maybe this idea of when those two ideas get out of out of sync, we start to lose this feeling of meaning. So if I don't know, or I've lost sight of what I really enjoy feeling, and I'm heading somewhere, I start to lose this sense of meaning because I don't really know why I'm doing it. Or if I know how I want to feel, but I haven't thought about how that will then impact what I'm trying to do in the various accounts of my life, then again, the destination is either vague, ill-defined, or non-existent, and it doesn't line up with how I really want to feel. And so again, I get out of sync with this sense of meaning. So that's my challenge to myself. My challenge is going to be cognizant of how I want to feel, start to get some real clarity on that, and how I don't want to feel. It's good to have both the carrot and the stick, the predator and the prey. So you know, the monster chasing you and the gold in front of you kind of thing. So it's good to say, well, I don't want to feel like that, and I know how I do get to feel like that, so I'm going to try to minimize those behaviors, and I'm going to start thinking about how I do want to feel, and what I need to do to really take control of these parts of my life. So that's my challenge to myself, and if you want to take it up too, feel free. So yeah, a short video today. Start focusing on how I want to feel, not what I want to do. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe if you haven't already, so you get notified when I release my next one. Please like the video if you've liked it, and please feel free to share. But most importantly, thank you for taking the time to watch, to listen to my ramblings. And until the next time, have a great day, be kind to yourself, and start focusing on how you want to feel. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.